evening. This is the 18 WJTS News. I'm Charlotte Olson. Jasper police arrested a man at Memorial Hospital after he was discovered to have medical supplies in his backpack. The Jasper Police Department was called to Memorial Hospital for the report of theft of medical supplies. Hospital security had located medical supplies, including a hypodermic needle in a backpack, which belonged to 33-year-old Joshua Saylor of Eckerty. Saylor was taken into custody without incident and was lodged in the security center. He is facing charges of theft, possession of a hypodermic needle, possession of a Schedule IV controlled substance, and police said that during an inventory of Mr. Saylor's property at the jail, a Schedule IV controlled substance was also located without a prescription. A Jasper man is facing preliminary charges, including 5 felonies and a misdemeanor, after being arrested on Sunday following a physical altercation with a female victim. Jasper Police Department responded to an apartment in the 1700 block of Leopold Street just after 3 p.m. yesterday to the call of an altercation that had just taken place. After arriving, police identified 26-year-old Douglas Rocky of Jasper and found that Rocky had been allegedly involved in a physical altercation with a female victim. Police report that during the altercation, Rocky strangled, punched, and held a knife to the victim's throat. Police also state that Rocky prevented the victim from leaving the apartment and prevented her or her family from calling 911. The 26-year-old man was taken to and booked into the Dubois County Security Center, pending 5 felony charges, which include domestic battery, intimidation, criminal confinement, strangulation, and criminal recklessness, along with a misdemeanor count of interference with the reporting of a crime. A former sheriff's deputy in southern Indiana has been sentenced to 3 years in prison on a child seduction charge. Daniel Greer was sentenced Wednesday after a Gibson County jury convicted him in January. He plans to appeal the conviction, and last summer he was accused of having sexual contact with 2 boys when he was a deputy and working as a school officer for the South Gibson School Corporation. He resigned as a Gibson County deputy after his conviction. Greer still faces a second child seduction charge, and he's also charged with obstruction of justice. Investigators say that he listened in on the call between one of the alleged victims and a detective as well. Evansville police have made an arrest in connection with the online threats against an Evansville high school. The threat was posted on Facebook late last week, and police received a tip about a post under the name of Caleb Jensen. The tipster said that they were concerned with a comment that was posted on an Evansville watch thread. The thread originated on February the 12th, but the comment was left at 9:50 on Thursday night. The post read, "Since Florida lost some people, it's time for somebody else to I'm shooting up one of the Evansville high schools tomorrow." Investigators determined that the IP address in which it was located was in Vanderburgh County, where the post originated from. Working with the Evansville Vanderburgh School Corporation officials, police were able to determine that Central High School student 18-year-old Brandon Lee Jones lived at that address. Jones was located at Central and taken to police headquarters. During an interview, Jones admitted to creating the fake Facebook account on February the 14th, and he told investigators that he posted the comment with the intent of causing school to be canceled on Friday. Jones told police that due to multiple absences, he was concerned that he would be referred to court if he missed any more school days. And Jones indicated that there were no other factors that caused him to make the threatening statement. Police do not believe anyone else was involved in the case, and he was arrested for felony intimidation and a misdemeanor disorderly conduct. He was booked into the Vanderburgh County Jail. A Ferdinand woman has filed to seek the Democratic nomination to the Dubois County Council District 3 seat. Deborah Major filed her candidacy for the Democratic nomination she holds with a bachelor's degree in food nutrition and institutional management from the University of Alabama and retired after 38 years of institutional management. Majors has served in hospitals, industries, and higher education, including food service director at Person County Hospital in North Carolina and Clark Memorial Hospital in Jeffersonville, and GE Appliance Park and the St. Meinrad Arch Abbey and School of Theology. Of her time working, she's developed institutional budgets, revenue-generating projects, management policies, and has experience in analysis of budget, sales, accounting, and payroll functions, as well as personal hiring, development, and training. In a release, Major describes herself as being fiscally conservative and believes that all spending should be subject to well-reasoned cost-benefit analysis. She says she looks forward to serving the citizens of Dubois County on the County Council. Major has chaired fundraising committees for the Forest Park Marching Rangers and the Fund for the Arts in Louisville. She has served on the board of American Red Cross and the Easter Seals Foundation in Jeffersonville. Currently, she is serving as a volunteer at the Ferdinand Branch Library and with the Friends of the Library. She is a member of Volunteers for Ferdinand Historical Society as well. Major and her husband of 35 years, Raymond, have resided in Ferdinand for 18 years, and they have 3 adult children. The Indiana General Assembly recently reached the midpoint of the 2018 legislative session, which means that the Senate and House of Representatives will now consider legislation passed by the opposite chamber. District 48 State Senator Mark Mesmer of Jasper says that of the 449 bills authored in the Senate, 172 passed, with 98% of those bills having bipartisan support and more than 60% passing unanimously. Mesmer says in addition of the 451 bills authored in the House, 130 have officially passed.
At the halfway point of session, all bills that have been passed by the Senate moved to the House of Representatives to repeat the legislative process and vice versa. Any bill that did not pass in its original chamber by February 6th can no longer be considered and will have to wait until the next legislative session to be reintroduced. The Indiana Senate has passed bills in the first half aimed at improving our state's workforce and preparing our students for the jobs of the future. We also passed bills combating the opioid epidemic and allowing the sale of alcoholic beverages on Sundays.
Mesmer says in the second half, the General Assembly will continue to address various issues facing the state. He says that some of the major House bills that will be considered include increasing penalties for drug dealers, authorizing the testing of self-driving vehicles, further updating our alcohol laws, and setting up regulations on growing industrial hemp. He says that any changes on one chamber makes to a bill must be approved by the other as well.
If an agreement can't be reached, a conference committee, which is made up of members from both the House and the Senate, can be appointed in an attempt to find consensus.
To stay informed and engaged as the legislature continues with new laws, you can visit www.in.gov/IGA, and you can stream committee hearings and session meetings as well. Event calendars, meeting agendas, vote tallies, and proposed legislation can also be found on this site. As always, you can feel free to contact Mesmer's office directly with your questions and concern. His email is senator.mesmer@iga.in.gov, and his phone number is 800-382-9467. High water and the combination of recent rain has already resulted in the closure of a number of rural roadways across our county. As the forecast is calling for additional rainfall for the better part of this week, the number of closures is expected to climb. The latest report issued earlier today by the Dubois County Highway Department says as many as 10 county roads have been shut down as of various points due to this rising floodwaters, with 5 of those roadways being reopened. For a complete listing of Dubois County roads that are closed or have been reopened, you can visit our website at WJTS.tv. Forecasters are calling for up to 3 inches of rain in the coming days, which will increase the risk of flooding in low-lying areas. And make sure you keep it right here, because up next we're going to take a look at your weather summary.